Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Such a pleasure to welcome this young group of artists. This is the first for This Is Your Moment podcast. It makes my heart sing. It makes me really so happy. And firstly, I'm so grateful to Sara for suggesting, because this wasn't my idea, it was Sara's idea. She was my guest, but she so sweetly recommended that we include her friends in this. So I'm thrilled to have met all of you on Twitter, and I look forward to following you and to sharing your work and to learning so much more about you. As I mentioned, you're all young artists, and that particularly speaks to my creative audience and to all of the friends listening to this podcast. I want to start by asking, what would you say that it is your biggest creative passion? By the way, it is absolutely totally cool if you have more than one.
Well, I'm from Mexico, so I have two names. In Mexico, everyone calls me Maria. So if you want to call me Maria, you can call me Maria. But my name is Color as well. And my, business is called Color Potion. That's my name. And I kind of mixed everything up. I specialize in color work with oil paints, and I do abstract and some landscapes. And I think I'm barely discovering my statement, but my biggest creative passion, I guess, is working with color and kind of expressing the way that I feel and the way that I see the world through the actual work of colors in the canvas and the paint.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
My name is Deb. My shop and all my socials are called Indica Visions. I've just found a lot of healing in nature, CBD and stuff like that. So I thought that kind of attested to the more holistic vibes that I go for. I paint with acrylics mostly, and then I do what is called blackout poetry. So you destroy books and write new uplifting pages out of the maybe not a lot of words made sense in this paragraph. And then behind that, I paint an acrylic painting that I think kind of matches up with the message I feel after the words kind of come to me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm Jana. I'm from Germany, actually. And my shop is called Following Gaia, so following and then Gaia, like the nature goddess. And I specialize in acrylic painting and also affirmation illustrations. And if it's for myself, my biggest creative passion is probably just the abstract painting. Although that's not a lot of the stuff on my shop, but that's what I am really passionate about. And then as for art that I make for other people, I really love doing the affirmation illustrations and just expressing these words with visions and helping other people connect to source. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing, yeah.
I'm Micah, and my shop is Art by Micah. And my creative passion is resin, polymer clay, and I use acrylic paint. It's important to me to have access to multiple mediums because all of my art is intuition-based.
Excellent. You are so clear on your message. Excellent.
I'm Anna, and my shop is called Pink Cloud Art. I like to experiment with different mediums, but right now I'm mostly doing resin work and acrylic paintings. And I like to make things that are kind of dreamy, where I wish I was, and just kind of fun and give joyful feelings to whoever has them. Yeah.
So beautiful. Sara, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your passion?
Yeah, of course. My name is Sara. You guys can call me Soul Sunshine. I'm so thankful. I specialize in crystal healing and visionary art. My main purpose throughout my work is to heal the collective and to raise the global vibration through each creation.
Excellent. Now I want to hear, how does creating make you feel, and what meaning does it hold to you? So the reason I ask this, because for me, painting has highly meditative and spiritual qualities to it.
I think that the meditative definitely resonates with me as well. Painting for me is a way to kind of listen more mindfully to what's going on in my brain. Because when you're painting, if your thoughts aren't on what you're creating, you know, you might make a mistake. So for me, it's been a lot of learning how to hear those thoughts, sure, but to just kind of let them keep passing and not hook me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a lot of uplifting and healing meditation in my painting for sure.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I can definitely resonate to that. I feel like painting my paintings aren't really like thought through. They're more like, I guess, going with the flow. So the meditation aspect like really resonates with me. And it just kind of helps me ground myself in reality. It used to be more like of a coping mechanism, I guess, earlier on, but now it's just like a huge part of my spiritual practice as well.
Brilliant.
I feel the same way about it. I feel like creating artwork is a way for me personally to connect with my inner child, which is something I feel like I struggled with for a long time. And when I decided I wanted to dive deeper into healing that part of myself, I found that I was creating more, and I was creating things that were like making me happy. And it was just like a very replenishing feeling that I feel like I was missing for a long time.
Beautiful.
I feel like when I create, it helps me work through any emotions that I might be feeling, and it kind of teaches me how to better understand those. And that's just why I create.
I actually have been researching for the last like 6 months for my artist statement, because I recognize that when I paint, I enter into a new kind of like dimension in which I am completely mindful of who I am, what I am doing, and what I'm feeling. And it's just so unique, like a unique feeling that you don't get like throughout all of the day. So that part of creation is just so like magical. It's just an experience of doing it. And it helps a lot, the colors, to bring the sensation into yourself, I guess.
Lovely. It's a direct path to the source, don't you feel that? Sarah?
Creation and art to me is like self-expression. It's definitely very spiritual and very meditative. It helps you connect to your inner child, to the spirit that's within, beyond the material realm. And yeah, it just helps you feel that aspect. For me, it's self-expression, helps me connect deeper.
Lovely. What was the process? It could be your own thinking or research or friends and family suggestion that led you to want to start selling your art. And how long was it for you between starting to make, create, design, or paint something to actually making it available for selling?
Thank you. I went actually to university to study fine arts. Like my family made me study. That's our culture in here. Like we have to do something. So I entered something that I just felt like maybe I could like it, and I ended up loving the career and everything. So maybe like 2 years ago, I had to push like selling artworks, abstract artworks, so that I could pay for a project that I needed to do for college. I think that was the first thing, but I was doing it because I needed to. And then, this year happened and quarantine happened and everything happened. And I was in my home and I was like, well, I guess I can take this time to really think about my future and what I really want to do, and not have the pressure of school and work and family and all of this stuff. So I started creating my business, and 1 month in, I was like, I think I'm really like ready to start selling, and I just started like promoting my work, and it started selling itself. So that's about it.
Well done. That's excellent.
Thank you.
I also, like, kind of similarly, I am a student and I've been making art since high school, like, consistently. And now I'm in college and I'm actually a photography major, which has nothing to do with anything in my shop at all. But I was realizing that, like, the direction I was taking my life in with what I was majoring in, I just didn't really feel passionate about that anymore. And I wasn't really interested in like being in galleries and like that more formal art world anymore. I wanted to just make things that made me happy and like could make other people happy and just not stress so much about it. And that was just kind of where I turned to making work like that. And also Micah was very, very encouraging, and she was already selling work at the time, and she really made me feel like I could do this. So I definitely am grateful for her too.
I've been creating like forever. My mom always encouraged me to make artwork, but I never really felt supported enough to sell them. Like my mom can't just buy them all. So then I started seeing more and more artists on Twitter and the support that they were giving everyone. So a couple months after that, I decided to just go for it.
Excellent. Deb, how about you?
I would say it's been a very slow process for me, for sure. I would say I started seriously exploring my desire to paint in about 2016. So from there, I had friends that were like, you should sell this. I have a beautiful friend who the entire time was like, dude, you could post these and, people would at least like them. So I guess she was probably my biggest cheerleader, I guess they'll say. So I would say last year and then this year have been where I actually, took all my time and energy and put it where my passion already was. The rewards are definitely coming. Like I've met all of you lovely ladies, and yeah, it's been really supportive. Like I was very surprised with how many people kind of show up for each other every day in the community, which is nice.
I think I started actually creating in maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And I never really thought of it as something that I could make money with. But then I think it was last October or something, I saw an artist on Twitter who kind of shared her story of how she got started selling art. I was like, oh, this is actually a thing. And I just decided I was going to share my art on Twitter. And then I just got into the community and everything. And then in January, I made a tote bag. And it got kind of a little bit of attention. And then I sold that one and took a few commissions and stuff. And then I decided, okay, well, might as well start selling my art now. I don't know. So then I started my Etsy shop and then transitioned to my own website, and it's just amazing. I'm literally so glad that I found this just as an opportunity to make art, because I've always wanted to do this. It's always been a dream of mine. I just never realized that I could actually do it. So yeah, that's great.
That is lovely. And Sarah?
Those are all beautiful, by the way. My creative process has been pretty long, ongoing as well. I've been a creative person my whole life. I've been painting for probably about 4 years. I do oil and acrylics. And I've been making crystal healing jewelry for probably about 2.5 or 3 years. The start of it wasn't my intention to sell, just, doing it for self-expression, for healing. The people around me, my friends and family, are just so supportive. We're like, how much is this? Let me pay you for this. Why aren't you selling this? You can totally sell this. I'm like, those first initial thoughts are me, I can sell this. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to buy my work. But it was just that push that really helped me get started. So I just started doing it. And yeah, man, just promoting my work, marketing, networking, meeting individuals like all of you here. Those genuine connections have made all the difference in my career as an artist now. I've been full-time for about 10 months. I saw everything was working out good, quit my job, and now this is my full-time job.
Well done. I'm also so grateful for meeting all of you. I want to know, where do you sell most of your artwork? I know some of you mentioned Twitter. So do you love the platform, even if it's not Twitter, whatever it may be, that you can enough to recommend it to others? And what is the best thing or the best feature, apart from the community that we already mentioned on Twitter, which is the strongest by far? That is just my feeling, because I'm on all the platforms except TikTok now, and I can I can tell you that no one, including Facebook, and especially, Twitter leaves Facebook behind when it comes to a real sense of community and the genuine connection that Sarah mentioned there. So what's your platform and why would you recommend it?
I use a combination of Twitter and Etsy. Twitter definitely more heavily. Love Twitter. And not even necessarily for profitability, but just for the fact of, like you said, the community of, okay, this painting didn't sell, but all of these people are like believing in your process and like loving you and showing you that, you know, keep trying, because obviously what you're doing is something that people are enjoying. With Etsy though, for me, that's how I reach people outside of maybe the younger generation, because on Etsy, they can browse on their own and like stumble upon your work, which I really enjoy, because then it's like, oh, maybe they needed to read this poem today and they didn't buy it, but that's okay because they still got the message that they needed. That's my biggest thing for Etsy, is like, you may affect someone and you're not interacting with them every day.
So good.
I sell most of my items through my Big Cartel website that I market through Twitter, and I would definitely recommend both. Because I love how encouraging everyone on Twitter is, and it's awesome to have a website where anyone can look at your stuff at any time. I post my website like once a day, and I get however many views from each post. And I can send it to my family too, and they can see everything I have.
Good.
I have my own Big Cartel website as well, and I also market mainly through Twitter. I use Instagram, but I can't really get into it, I guess. I don't really connect with Instagram that much, but I really love Twitter to market my art, just because, I mean, Instagram obviously is more like image focused. Like you can just go in someone's profile and see all the pictures, which is great for art. But on Twitter, I really like that you can also just like throw in some tweets about your life and people can actually get to know you. And that's just like the greatest thing, because you can actually build a real community on Twitter. Yeah, and as for Big Cartel, I really love it as well. It's really easy to use. And I just love having my own website. Like, I liked Etsy for the beginning, but I just really wanted my own website that I could customize and just do everything myself, I guess, in a way.
The easy user access for Big Cartel is a huge plus for people like me. Like, I was very intimidated by the idea of making a website because I'm just not tech savvy like that, and it was a very scary idea to me. But Big Cartel was like a very simple process, and there were a lot of options for making your website look like, you know, however you feel like an environment for your art should look.
Excellent.
I would say Twitter as well. I didn't understand it at the beginning. I got that the community is the biggest thing, but I really like the feature that if you want to look for something like on the explore kind of section, you can search whatever word, and it doesn't need a hashtag. It doesn't need anything. As long as the word is in the actual tweet, then it will like come up. So that is the most amazing thing. It's not like, you know, Insta or TikTok or something like that is much more complicated to actually be featured on the explore page. And I really do get the Instagram thing, presentation, I guess, for your Instagram. So that makes it harder. But Twitter is just so good. And I wanted to tell you that if you're not on TikTok, I don't know why you're not. TikTok is just so good. Like, it's a little bit complicated to actually like build your community there. But once you do, it's kind of like good for that. And, you know, it's really trending. And I mean, probably you're not going to sell through TikTok, but it can definitely like attract people so that you can push to your other social media.
You can engage with people really on TikTok. And still, as a new platform, I know it's open and you can really build an audience and build a rapport with people easily. It's just that I didn't have time personally, but maybe I should make time.
Yeah, it does take a lot of time to actually comprehend, you know, like the platform, because it's really strange and it's changing every single day. Like if something is trending right now, it will probably stop trending tomorrow. So, I mean, you gotta be like,
small window of time. Yeah, that's true.
I'm on a lot of platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. I just started a YouTube channel. I'm on Twitter. Basically, my biggest thing is just like getting yourself out there and marketing and making like genuine connections with people, not just trying to like post and make sales, like actually connect and interact with individuals. I have found Twitter actually to be the most interactive, the most supportive, the most encouraging, the most successful for like my platform to go to. And it's funny because for so long I was just on Instagram and Facebook, and I didn't even think about Twitter. And I was like, you know, I should try this one out. and like boom, it's like my followers are so much bigger than my Instagram followers. Like it's crazy. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm just so thankful for that. I'm on TikTok too. Yeah.
Do you have your own community, like your own group of friends that you have, and which platform did you choose for that?
I wouldn't say that I have my own community, but like the art community as a whole is very inspiring and supportive. But I mean, I'm in like group chats with a lot of other artists where we always support each other and we can just talk about anything. That's one of my favorite things about Twitter, is that I can be in like a million group chats with a bunch of different people and still everyone is active in them.
It's cool.
I would say that I agree with I'm a member of like the collective art community, because I wouldn't say that I like, especially now with quarantine, go out and meet people to do art and, you know, converse and inspire each other in the physical sense. But I definitely do so with, you know, like these ladies and some other people that I follow that are lights, even though we're not seeing each other face to face every day. It's nice to have people to still go and learn from, and or who may need, you know, something from you eventually. So I would say that's probably the closest that I would equate it to right now for myself.
Yeah, it's pretty similar for me. I don't have like a set community, like, I don't know, like a Patreon or something. But I'm also in like quite a few group chats where we just support each other. And that's just amazing because I know it's just great to just like tell other people how amazing their art is. I just love doing that. I've started a few weeks ago just trying to kind of DM more artists and connect with more other artists. And that's also just been really amazing.
I agree with the like art group thing. It's kind of like a community, but it's not in an actual page. It's more like in, you know, in a group chat. So that is something. But I also believe that since we are our own like business face kind of thing, like even if you don't want to, you have like a community because it's your business and it's only you, right? I do have a community, I guess, for every platform, you know, in each of one of like of, you know, Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all of those are different people. However, I always try to like bring something to them, not only like my artwork to sell. So I always try to like communicate with them or to bring something into their day to make it a little bit better or to remind themselves of something. I have two Instagrams, and my personal one is more like I speak mostly Spanish. So I guess the community I'm building is not only for artists kind of related stuff, but it's also like friendships and kind of like family community.
Yeah, I agree about like the group chats, like being able to talk about anything, like just common interests, whether it's art related or not. I feel like that's a very powerful aspect to that platform, and just like those relationships. And I do feel like I have a community of friends, like, again, quarantine has made it kind of hard, but like in real life, who are like classmates. And, you know, we've been like accustomed to this very professional studio setting, and like we've started to have conversations together about like separating from that. And I feel like we're all kind of inspiring each other to break away from that more rigid platform and just make things that are like healing and fun and just more relaxed.
Yeah, I was just gonna second that about like group chat communities and like friends and families, like being in your like local communities and the online platform communities that you're involved in. I would say the most potent way to inspire those like in your community is just being your genuine, authentic self, expressing your truth, speaking truthfully, lovingly, honestly, and authentically. Just, you know, not having any kind of cover, yourself, and that will inspire others to do the same, like spark that inner child, find their creative passion, and follow their own dreams.
So good. So you guys have talked a bit about your marketing strategies and how do you do your sales, but I just want to ask you specifically, do you do any video marketing, and how do you do that? No doubt creatively.
Yeah, I do. From the videos that I do on TikTok, I upload them to other social media because I just think they're so like fun because they have, you know, songs or even funny things. So they're like pretty cool. But I'm gonna start doing some classes on Patreon or Skillshare or both. So for those things, since it's a lot harder to actually like attract people, I'm thinking about doing like a video marketing thing specifically for those, because I've noticed that videos really catch people's eyes. So I will definitely say it's a big thing.
I would say that I'm still very new to like calculated marketing, I guess. I'm still reading a lot and learning what is effective. But I agree with Maria, like videos are a lot more catchy than just a photo or like, you know, paragraph about what you're doing. But I would say my extent of like video marketing is like videos that I post on Twitter of like close-up details of my pieces, or just like a little blurb of like me talking like on my Instagram story.
I feel like the same way. I don't think I quite have the hang of it yet, but I've definitely tried. I have a lot of videos on my phone that I've tried like to record of me making things and stuff like that, but it's just never quite what I want it to be. But I have posted videos of pieces because I definitely think you get a better sense of like detail, at least for me. Like I use a lot of glitter, so I like to use like the flash and like get the different angles. So it's something I'd want to get better at for sure, because I think it's really helpful to show your work.
Same for me. I don't use videos like that often, but when I do, I really like how they turn out. So I don't know why I don't do it more often, but I guess I just forget.
I would love to actually use videos more. I actually have a TikTok, and I've always like, I want to use it more, and then I post a few videos and then I forget, but I should really use it more because I love TikTok actually. And yeah, just posting those videos on Twitter every now and again is just really fun. I would really love to use like more videos and also just like talk to a camera, but I'm like actually really camera shy, so I really need to work on that. But yeah, for now it's just a few TikToks every now and again.
Yeah, definitely videos are important, especially if you have details that you're trying to get. People tend to have a short attention span, I've noticed, especially when they're just like meaninglessly like scrolling through like social media platforms, like not really intending to like see something, and then if they see a video like motion picture, it tends to catch their eye more than a still image, and especially if it's something beautiful like handmade art. And then they're like, whoa, that's really cool. Versus like an image that they could have just like scrolled past. I feel like, and there's sound on it too, it'll play, you know.
Excellent. I would like to know who is your biggest inspiration. They don't have to come from the world of art. It could be somebody you know in your personal life. No doubt they have been some huge part of your success story of why you do art in the first place. So if you could introduce us to that person, please.
My biggest inspiration is definitely Micah, and I'm not saying that she's here. That was what I wrote down because she, again, like, her encouraging me to do it like meant the world to me, especially because she was so successful and like she's like a creative powerhouse. So like her telling me that I would be able to do it is like, it's like, okay, I can then. If she said I can do it, I can do it. So she's very inspiring to me always.
I don't really have just one person. I think it was the art community as a whole that inspired me, and they always reassure me that I can do this. I think they taught me that I have to just make what I love to make and be patient. And passion is the key to having a successful art business.
For sure.
I don't really have one inspiration as well. I have a few artists on Twitter that I just really, really love. Sara, and also Sunny. She is called Illustra Sons on Twitter. I just really love her work as well. But as for like people that inspire my art, I really love Ram Dass, the spiritual teacher. I absolutely love him. I have this book, Be Here Now, and I can literally just open any page and just read one sentence and immediately be inspired. And I've learned so much from his words, and it's just amazing. So yeah, that's probably actually my biggest inspiration.
Very interesting.
I would say that my biggest inspiration comes from my now partner, that we've been best friends since birth. You know, she's super creative, and we grew up like her teaching me how to draw like human faces because I can't do symmetry. Just now that we live together and I get to see her every day, like she's very uplifting. Her biggest lesson, not even like necessarily in my creative process, has been She always tells me to trust the process, which for me kind of carries over into my life. Just remembering that like there are some things that I can't control, you know, there are opinions of myself that I can't change from other people. All I can do is just walk forward with intent, and eventually, you know, I'll end up where I'm supposed to end up. So hearing her tell me to trust the process when I don't like a painting is also a nice reminder when my life feels a little chaotic too. Very grateful for her.
Beautiful. Inspiration is all around me, from everyone in the community, the world around me. Specific people would definitely be Ram Dass, Maharaji, the teacher that came from the book. Alan Watts, you guys should definitely check out his people if you don't know them. Jim Carrey specifically, his $1 million check story, if you guys haven't heard that, it's based on the teachings of law of attraction, which is another very inspirational concept to me. He carried around a check, $1 million dated to himself 10 years in the future, rendering for acting services. And like he cashed it out, he manifested it. And like that personal experience like inspired me. Like we can all manifest our dreams. We can all do whatever we desire through this concept of law of attraction. The Secret. The Secret's another really big one. Rhonda Byrne, there's so many. Deepak Chopra, Napoleon Hill, yeah.
Lovely, lovely. It doesn't surprise me to hear that. And Maria?
I think this one is a really hard one because I don't have a specific person, and I guess my answer can be different ones, and maybe one is a little bit selfish, I guess, but I think my biggest inspiration is myself. However, myself comes through very like long path of different inspirational people that I don't know personally, but I've just encountered throughout my adolescence and, you know, life in general, who I've heard talking about something specific, or philosophers or something like that, even books about different people that inspire meditation or a higher kind of sense of being. So that's why I say like myself, because I have this vision of who I am or who I inspire to be. So I guess that is also the answer. But I think it's even not even a who, it's a what, because it's more like nature and the world itself, the universe is the thing that most like inspires me, because it's just so grand and it's just itself. Does that make sense? It just like fills my energy, it fills my eyes, my everything, every sense of my body just fills it up with something that it's not even describable with words. So I guess that is mostly the answer.
Well done. That's a great answer. If you can become now a visionary just for a moment and tell me just briefly, where do you see yourself in, let's say, a couple of years from now? What would you like to learn or accomplish in that time?
I'm always like a person that likes to know where she's going. I don't like uncertainty, so I'm always like planning or doing some things to direct myself somewhere. So I see myself in another country, and I see myself probably studying my master's degree in fine arts and hopefully establishing somewhere where I feel like I belong to, because my kind of thinking and kind of being, it's very different from everyone that I know, my family, my friends, and even my culture in Mexico. So I just want to feel like somewhere where I'm welcome by who I am and how I think and feel. So that is kind of the way that I want to go in the next few years.
Was that a scary question then?
I'll go.
Go
on. 2 years from now, I think I would like to have my plan in motion to like have property. Like my biggest thing, like other than my art, my passion is just, like Maria said, having a place for people who don't feel like they fit in to go. And I want that to be like where I live, and I want to be able to, you know, go and commune in nature every day and get inspired by the natural world and be able to ground without cars driving by.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of offer that place to others who also need to get away from the lights and the pavement and just look at the stars and make some art. And then hopefully all of you lovelies can come and I can meet you.
That's so good.
For me, it's actually really different because like I'm 18 and I like having this kind of uncertainty because I'm so young and I don't really need to have that much of a plan now. I have like some goals and like projects that I want to do. Like I want to make an affirmation deck and I'm planning to move out soon. But as for where I see myself in 2 years, externally, I have no idea. And I just hope that I, in 2 years, learned what I needed to learn and that I guess, recognized the blessings that I was given and also just grown in a pace that I needed to grow.
In 2 years, I hope to be able to support myself, like just from my art sales. But I also want to do like the markets and art fairs. I think those would be really fun because then you can really connect with people face to face. But I also just hope to go deeper into my creativity and my intuition and just grow.
For 2 years from now, I would love to be able to support myself also for my artwork. I think that's a huge thing for me, like just like a personal goal in general, just being able to support myself. And I want to be working on projects that are like consistently stimulating my creativity, and like I don't ever want to lose the passion for creating that I have right now. So I think like coming up with a good pace for myself is also important in that process. And I'm also interested in pursuing art therapy for children, but I feel like that might take longer than 2 years. But that is something I would like to do eventually.
Very good. And Sarah?
Yeah, those were also so beautiful, ladies. I can already see all of your dreams manifesting. Where do I see myself in the next 2 years? Where do I not see myself? I just got a camper, so I plan on traveling the country and living out of it. I see myself working on farms. I'm about to get my horticulture degree, so I have a horticulture degree. I work with plants. I'll be selling my art at music festivals, teaching law of attraction workshops, teaching yoga classes, teaching meditation techniques, teaching painting classes, jewelry classes, learning as well, learning all of that on the get-go. Putting on shows with my partner Patrick all across the country, connecting, networking, surrounding myself with loving individuals, supportive individuals, genuine, powerful, intuitive individuals, warriors of light. Yeah, I just see myself everywhere and anywhere.
Absolutely. I can see that too. When I grow up, I want to be like all of you. It is so inspirational. So,
As are you.
so
Yeah.
thank you. Genuine. That is the word I would use to describe all of you. It's just such a privilege to have you here and
Thank you.
to have the opportunity to introduce you to even wider audience perhaps with this. Let's end the interview with a question. Would you ever entertain a career that's not creative?
No.
No?
I don't think that I could, and I think that the unhappiness that I would probably have if I was doing that would seep into everything. I just wouldn't feel satisfied. I don't think that I could, but I recognize that that's very like I'm in a very privileged position to be able to say that. As of right now, that I haven't had to, and hopefully I won't ever have to, but that's definitely a privileged answer that I gave. But yeah.
No, that's a wise answer, and that's such a clear vision of who you are as well. So let's hear you, Maria. What do you think?
Anna answered the question, and I was like, oh my God, I had a job at a hotel and it was so bad. I mean, I didn't use my creativity at all. So now I get the question even more. So yeah, I would definitely not do. No, I couldn't. It was just so, it was unhappiness in a place. So it was horrible, and I would not do that again for myself.
I 100% agree with Maria. I very recently full-time artist. So like over the last like 2 months, I have like decided to quit my job. But before that, I've always had a job alongside of my creative process, just out of necessity. Like I moved out of like my parents' home when I was young, so it was always just kind of a survival thing. And then I got to explore being creative afterwards. So this is definitely my calling and my passion, and I love the people and like being creative. So I would say like a normal job is definitely not at all plausible for my future.
I think like no matter what my career is, my creativity will play a part in it. Like even if it's more traditional jobs like that or more stable, like a tattoo artist or a birthing coach, like I'm gonna put my own creative spin on it to make it more me and more personal. And I don't think I would reach my potential without my creativity.
Very true.
Yeah, for me, the thing is, I had one. It was at like an organic farm, which sounds good, but it really wasn't, because all I was doing was just like scanning boxes and putting food in it. And it was so boring, and just the environment was so toxic. And I think I was there for like 2 or 3 months, and I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I mean, this is a pretty privileged answer, because I'm blessed to also be able to live with my parents right now. I just quit after like 3 months. And since then, I've just been pursuing my art and really figuring out what it is that I want to do, and just growing my art business. And it's amazing. And I don't think I can imagine anything else ever, especially because at the beginning of the year, I did a lot of shadow work and a lot of figuring out what I wanted to do. I feel like this is my purpose, and I literally cannot see myself doing anything else.
Well done.
I also second that having a real job is detrimental to your mental health. Like, as a creative person, getting shoved into like that corporate box every day, I noticed like super quickly, like Jana said, that it was very very disheartening to like then go home and try to, be creative.
And you couldn't, right? I couldn't.
Right, exactly. You want to go home and you go to sleep and you get up, and that your next day is exactly the same. And monotony is definitely the killer of creativity.
Totally. Yeah. It doesn't kill your creativity. I'll tell you what it kills, though. It kills your energy, because by the time you finish everything that you have to do, there is no energy left for you.
Yeah. No.
No, exactly.
I used to.
She has to say no.
Done. That's her answer.
So flat out, no. But yeah, I used to work like corporate jobs. I was in the food service industry for a couple of years, and
this is life in front of me. What I see in all of you, the vision, the clarity, the dreams, the drive, just it's all right there. You guys got it, and make sure you don't let go of that. Just keep hold of who you are, and you are winning in life. You're absolutely brilliant. I'm so grateful that you were part of this. I really wish you all tremendous success with everything. I hope this is not the last time we all gather like this.
Of course not. Whenever you want, I'm here.
That's beautiful. Really, truly appreciate all of you for coming, for staying this long, for sharing the most intimate stories and dreams that you have. Wish you all
Thank you,
guys. Take care now.
Have a beautiful day.
You
bye.
too. Bye, dear. Bye.
Bye.